So recently, I got it in my mind what exactly government's job is. So, doing what I do, I Googled it. And, a lot of us think that the government's job is just to legislate, make laws. But that's not all. A government is to maintain order within the society and to protect the rights of people, all the people that live under that government. Um, that it's supposed to provide essential services, as we all know, building roads, repairing roads, building bridges, repairing, just it's a social contract, is what it is. And this is what they're supposed to do: take care of the people, to manage, well, to serve the public good is really what a government's job is supposed to do. And it doesn't matter what government it is. I mean, you could be in the United Kingdom, you could be in the European Union, like France or Switzerland or wherever. They have a government. That's what the government is supposed to do. It's supposed to manage the affairs of the state, plus see to the needs of the people. Everybody is always, especially people on the right, bitching and moaning about big government. We don't want big government. We don't want government in our lives. Well, here lately, what has the government been doing under this regime? Seriously, under the Trump regime, what has been happening? Trump has been spending taxpayer dollars, spending $56,000 a shot for those big old banners that he's got on the Department of Justice building, the Department of Labor's building, um, and a couple others. I can't remember which other buildings there are, but $56,000 of taxpayer money. He's not taking money. That money's not coming out of his pocket. It's coming out of ours. And he is just using our treasury, our tax dollars, to do all these crazy things, to fix what wasn't even broken, to change things the way he wants them to be, like the reflecting pool, okay, the Lincoln Monument. There was nothing wrong with it, but no, he has to turn around and paint it or drain it and paint it an American flag blue. And then come to find out, it was his motorcade that drove through the reflecting pool that caused the issues with the paint. So he's trying to blame it on sabotage or saboteurs or whatever. That's not okay. But anyway, plus the Malcolm X um, fountain in that park. Somehow he's managed to get that water that runs through that fountain to turn brown. Reflecting pool is filled with algae. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay? People that run the government, that work for us, the people, need to tend to our business, not the business that you want to do, like trying to build arches, like in Europe, or build ballrooms that nobody needs. then to turn around and say that our elections are rigged. Our elections, nobody talked about that until Trump. Honestly, I've been thinking about this, and the conclusion I'm starting to come to is that we need to do a soft secession. In other words, the blue states need to secede from the red states in a soft way, meaning taking the state's tax money and withholding it. States like New York or California, Massachusetts, the donor states. Because California in 2026 paid, or excuse me, 2024, got that wrong, paid into the federal government $275.6 billion. That's just California. And then New York in 2024 paid $385.3 billion. Massachusetts, $156.5 billion. So the donor states are the states that pay more money into the government or the federal government's treasury than other states, red states. So Kentucky paid $50.2 billion into the federal treasury. Louisiana, 41.9 billion. Oklahoma, 37 billion. Arkansas, it looks like 42 billion. So those are the states that some would refer to as welfare states. It's the red states that receive more government financial assistance than the blue states. And it's the people in Republican led states that are Republican for no apparent reason. They're the ones that receive more government benefit than the blue states. So, my idea is simply this: a soft secession. Take blue state money out of the federal government. It doesn't even have to be forever, just long enough to let them know what they're railing against. Like with South Carolina, don't turn South Carolina into California. You would love to be like California, okay? California attracts more people. And Fox News the other day, Laura Ingraham was talking about the worst states to live in the United States of America. And they were all Republican led states. They're great for business, but not for living in. And the reason why, in my opinion, why they're so good for business is because the Republicans see dollar signs. And it's not dollar signs that they're going they're not going to use that money to help the people of those states, the residents of those states. No, they'll use that money to get rich. You know? Money talks, billionaire cash goes in my pocket. There is something seriously wrong in this country. America has got big problems. When people working 40 hours a week, at least 40 hours a week, cannot make ends meet. When people make work 80 hours a week at two different jobs and still can't pay the rent, still can't pay for all of their expenses, there's a problem. It's a huge problem. All anybody wants, and I don't care if you're on the left or if you're on the right, all anybody wants that's normal, that's regular workaday people like us, all we want is to be comfortable, to live comfortable, to be able to keep our bills paid every month, and maybe have enough money left over to put into a savings so you can have it for an emergency. Now, I've said this before, and I'm saying it again now because a lot of people have pets, dogs, cats, whatever, mice, rats, gerbils, snakes. If you have a pet, it's a family member, and they are just as important to take care of as your kids, your parents, yourself. And when that rainy day happens, it could be a rainy day because some one of your pets is sick, and then you don't have the money to take your pet to see their their doctor, their vet. I know because yesterday our family lost one of our pets, and it may have been avoided if we would have been able to get our pet to see her veterinarian. Or not, I don't know. It could have been something that was completely unavoidable. But when people don't have a rainy day savings fund, they're stuck with the worst option possible, and that is to let their pet, their forever four legged family member, die. Or another term that I've heard recently is economic euthanasia. Cheaper to put your pet down because you can't afford the vet care. Or you take your pet to the veterinarian and they want a $2,000 deposit. And if you don't have the money, well, you can relinquish your pet to us. And then they steal your pet. There's something wrong with that. But anyway, that's my rant, my experience, my opinions. But I'm going to end this because yesterday was very sad and it is still weighing very heavily on my heart. And so, my internet friends, please do me a favor and take care of yourselves. wherever you are.